This year has been extraordinary. The 75th anniversary has gone beyond our dreams. We've been able to work with so many wonderful nonprofits on so many great projects, and some of those projects really have legs and will last long into the future.
I was lucky enough to be part of the initial group that was brainstorming ideas for the 75th anniversary of the Community Foundation. We came up with probably over 300 ideas initially, and it's been really wonderful and gratifying for me to see how these got whittled down to 12 fantastic ideas that touched every aspect of our community.
When we set out to do the grants, we really were looking at how can we have an impact on the community and celebrate and invest in what makes this community so special. So we set out to do one project that was announced each month, but those projects had to do with the things that we really believe make our community so amazing. So was it the beaches? Was it the lakes? Was it the biking community? Was it the community centers? Was it the nonprofits? Was it our amazing library system? Over and over again, we came to ideas that really make people think, yes, that is Madison, that's what makes me proud, that's an asset, and how could we invest in that asset? One of my favorite projects is the I Am Madison project. So in there we were working with Madison 365, a really innovative media organization that is working with young people, training young people of color to become journalists and tell stories that are often not told.
The I Am Madison grant really helped us cover a lot of different issues, from stories about some of the first African Americans in our city, to some of the first Latino impact they had in our community, for some of the wonderful things our Hmong population has had, to some of the wonderful things some of our Native American brothers and sisters have done in our community. They just helped us really get a grasp of the whole community. The results have been amazing, how these students have gone through it and how you can tell how they talk about how it's changed their lives. And they also can see how the impact of journalism and how it can actually have a true impact in the community and make real change. One of our interns went through our academy. She got to interview her grandmother, and her grandma was the first Black woman firefighter ever in Madison.
The Capitol, one of the most iconic images for Madison, the state capitol was celebrating its 100th anniversary. So it really began with that simple a thought. It's the 100th anniversary of this amazing building. It tells us who we are, it tells us where we are. We rally around it in times good and in times challenging. And how could we celebrate that?
The grant that we were a part of at the Children's Museum, the Capitol at 100, included not only the Children's Museum, but the Watrous Gallery, and also the concerts on the square.
Two of the artists who were in the art exhibition, they decided, let's celebrate women, let's celebrate a woman sculptor, and then they ended up raising several $100,000 towards a permanent endowment that will sustain new emerging artists and established artists, women artists in Madison.
In much the same way that Jean Pond Minor probably never imagined that her statue would have such resonance for women and for our community today, I think that this Women Artists Forward Fund is going to be feeding young artists in our future and going to be making an amazing positive change for our community, because it's not just the individual artists that benefit from their work, but it'll be the community that their work inspires.
When things 12 projects, that's not so broad, it actually is. We're working with the Ho-Chunk and the University of Wisconsin to create heritage sites that celebrate the 12,000 years of history of the First Nations. We had design competitions. We're working on the Nolan waterfront. We had several art exhibitions. Really such a rich array of ideas, all celebratory and many of them really impactful. It ranged from turning lemons into lemonade, so the ash borer debacle that is now a statewide issue with the beetles eating away these trees, turned into capital campaigns, art projects, high school education, woodworking programs. It really became a wonderful, happy ending to what's been such a challenging story.
We live in an amazing city. I tell people, just walk around Madison and look at the different opportunities that we have, and what wouldn't be there if there weren't philanthropic people who had given generously to make those things happen.